All right, let's talk about something that is quickly, and kind of scarily, blurring the line between what's real and what's totally fake. We're diving into the new face of fraud, deep fake threats. I want you to just picture this for a second. A video call pops up. It's your boss, and they sound stressed. They need a wire transfer, and they need it now. The face looks right, the voice sounds exactly like them, everything feels legit. But is it? This isn't some sci-fi movie plot anymore. This is a very real threat that people and businesses are dealing with today.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The experts are basically shouting this from the rooftops. As David Sancho over at Trend Micro puts it, this isn't some far-off future problem, it's happening right now. So how on earth did we get to this point, where you can't even trust your own eyes? Well, let's get into it.
To really get a handle on this threat, you got to understand where it came from. We need to look at how this technology went from being kind of a funny internet gimmick to a seriously sophisticated weapon for criminals.
So what is a deepfake exactly? Well, at its heart, it's media that's been created by an AI. This tech can literally swap someone's face onto another person's body, make their lips move perfectly in sync with audio they never ever said, and even create a complete clone of their voice. It's wild.
In this slide right here, this shows you the single biggest reason this is such a huge problem now. Accessibility. You know, it wasn't that long ago that you had to be some kind of genius hacker to make a convincing deepfake. Now, criminals can just hop onto the black market and buy ready-to-go tools. The barrier to entry has completely vanished.
You can see just how fast this whole thing blew up. It started out being used for jokes and novelty stuff. Some funny, some not so funny. Then the software became super easy for anyone to get. And that's when the criminals really saw their chance and jumped in, which brings us to today, where there's an entire underground industry built around this stuff.
So that rapid evolution has led to, you guessed it, a full-blown criminal playbook. Let's break down how these guys are actually using this tech to do some serious damage.
And when I say serious damage, I mean it. The scale of this problem is just staggering. Get this, in Taiwan alone, we're talking about an estimated 6 billion new Taiwan dollars in losses. And that's not per year, that's per month. It's a crazy amount of money. So what's behind these huge losses? Well, it boils down to a few key scams. Criminals have their go-to moves. The big one you've probably heard of is CEO fraud. That's where a fake exec shows up on a live video call and tricks an employee into sending a massive wire transfer. But they're also getting more creative, creating fake job applicants to sneak into a company's network, using fake IDs to get past bank security, and even creating fake, compromising videos to blackmail people.
So who are they pretending to be? Well, it really depends on what they're trying to do. If they want money, they'll pretend to be a CEO. If they want to sell you fake medicine, they'll whip up a fake doctor. They'll even create fake politicians to spread propaganda, or use a fake celebrity to endorse a bogus product. They're just preying on the trust we naturally have in these figures.
And this is not just a theory. Take the real-world case of the AI fake doctor. A scammer created this totally synthetic health expert who managed to get 200,000 followers. Now, why did this work so well? Because it taps into something deep inside us, our respect for authority. We see a doctor, we tend to believe them. This fake doctor then started pushing all this harmful medical advice, aiming it straight at older, more vulnerable people. The damage here wasn't just about money. It was a real threat to public health.
Okay, so the threat is clear, it's sneaky, and yeah, it's pretty scary. But, and this is a big but, you are not powerless here. So, how do you spot one of these digital ghosts?
Here are 5 key things you can do. It starts with just looking and listening carefully. But honestly, the most important defense, the one that will save you every time, is procedural. If you get a weird or urgent request, especially for money or data, you have to verify it using a different method, like calling a phone number you already have saved for that person.
So let's zoom in on what you're actually looking for. The AI, as good as it is, still makes mistakes. Pay close attention to the eyes. AI models often mess up blinking. It's either too much or not nearly enough. And look at the lighting. Does the shadow on their cheek actually match where the light in the room is coming from? A lot of the time it won't. And watch for weird blurring or distortion right where the fake face meets the hair or the neck. Those are the digital seams, the little cracks in the illusion.
Being able to spot a fake is a critical skill, for sure. But the real long-term fix needs a much bigger strategy. We have to start thinking about how we can rebuild trust in a digital world that's just full of fakes.
And look, This is a shared responsibility. For you and me, it's about staying sharp, being skeptical, and locking down our personal data. For companies, it's a bit more structured. It means training everyone, beefing up security with things like multi-factor authentication, and yeah, investing in new tech that can spot these fakes.
At the end of the day, a really strong defense has to have multiple layers. First, awareness. Just accepting that this is happening right now is a huge step. Second, investment, both in the technology to catch the fakes and in the people, the training, to help them spot the fakes. And finally, collaboration. No single company or person can solve this alone. We gotta work together.
This quote really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It gets to the heart of the challenge we're all facing. That old rule we lived by, seeing is believing, well, it's officially broken. Our job now is to build new instincts, new systems, for a world where our own senses can be tricked.
And that leaves us all with a really profound question. If the evidence from our own eyes and ears can be completely faked, then what we base our trust on has to change fundamentally. It can't just be about what we see anymore. It has to be about verification, about process, and about maintaining a healthy dose of skepticism. What we choose to trust from now on, well, that's going to define our entire digital future.